In western Siberia, two fishermen embarked on a riverside expedition, eager to catch dinner. The weather favored their endeavor, and the morning proved bountiful with a satisfying haul of grayling filling their bucket. However, as the sun climbed higher, the fish sought refuge in deeper waters, dwindling their catch by lunchtime. Surveying the turbulent river, the fishermen refrained from wading in for some time, wary of the strong current. Eventually, they stumbled upon a serene pool along the shore, offering a safe spot to resume fishing and engage in amiable conversation. Unbeknownst to them, a colossal brown bear stealthily emerged from behind the dense foliage, drawn by hunger. Sensing an impending danger, one of the fishermen slowly turned, only to be confronted by the menacing sight of the bear mere paces away. In a silent yet urgent gesture, he motioned at his companion to do the same. Unaware of the looming threat, the second fisherman chuckled at a jest, his jovial expression quickly fading into shock as he followed his friend's gaze. With trembling hands, he released his grip on the fishing rod, frozen in terror as the bear emitted a fierce growl, taking a menacing step forward. Realizing the peril they faced, the fishermen knew that attempting to swim away was futile, as bears were adept swimmers, and the raging current posed an additional hazard. They stood frozen, grappling with the daunting reality of their predicament. One of their friends suggested splitting up, reasoning that a bear cannot chase two targets simultaneously, thus increasing the odds of at least one person surviving. The other friend, however, refused, proposing instead to draw the bear's attention away from his companion to save his life. But his friend insisted on an equal chance for both. Agreeing to act together, they decided that on the count of 3, they would slowly walk in different directions. When the count reached 3, they began to move. The bear, initially confused, glanced in one direction and then the other before taking a few steps toward one of the men. It was then that the men noticed something peculiar about the bear. As it moved, it seemed to struggle with its hind leg, which appeared underdeveloped, impairing its ability to walk quickly. Perplexed, the fishermen wondered what had happened to the bear. It turned out that several years ago, when the bear was just a cub, it had been walking along the riverbank with its mother and siblings. When they heard gunshots, several male poachers rushed to the bear's habitat with their hunting dogs. The mother bear fiercely defended her cubs, but the poachers shot her several times, causing her to collapse. In her last moments, she witnessed the dogs tearing her cubs apart. The dogs tormented the cubs until they fell silent, after which they returned to their owners. The poachers took the mother bear's carcass, leaving the small cub bodies on the shore. However, one cub managed to survive. This cub, now standing before the two fishermen, had been badly wounded by the dogs, with his hind paw crushed. Despite this, he had managed to crawl into the bushes and find insects to eat, which sustained him temporarily. However, his injuries left him unable to hunt for fish in the river. He survived by eating insects, berries, and tree bark, relying on his strong survival instinct. That morning, he had barely made it to the river to drink water. When he saw the fishermen, he growled furiously, remembering the pain and misfortune humans had brought him. Knowing he couldn't catch them, he attempted to scare them off. The men, unaware of the bear's backstory, were struck by how emaciated he appeared. Acting swiftly, they decided to feed him without hesitation. One of them cautiously approached, bringing his bucket of fish as close as he dared. With gentle tosses, he scattered the fish towards the bear, who eagerly pounced on them with the voraciousness of a starving creature. It seemed to be the first time the bear had eaten to his heart's content. The men emptied their catch, watching as the bear, now satiated, reclined on the ground, content for the first time in his life. Remaining in the water, the men watched as the bear, seemingly understanding their unspoken gratitude, quietly rose and limped into the thicket, granting them safe passage to shore. Back in the village, when they recounted their encounter, some locals criticized their actions, arguing that by feeding the bear, they only prolonged its suffering. They believed it would have been more humane to let it die of hunger swiftly.